I had 200 quid to my name. I booked a flight to the cheapest part of America that I could find.
Where was that?
Boston.
Boston.
I didn't know anybody in Boston.
I've never been Boston. I want to go
Do you know
there.
what,
I want to
mate?
go there. I want to go there.
Honestly, it's mint. It's like such a cool place, good vibe. Sort of like Liverpool. You can all walk around. People are dead friendly. Highly recommend
I can't
it.
walk around Liverpool, but yeah, go on.
And I was just sat there in America. I was like, what can I do in the US this month that is just gonna that would just be so exciting? And it was the McGregor-Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, I've got to go. There is no way I can't be at this fight. North Korea, the safest I've ever felt. You know, people are going, oh, what camera did you take? I'm like, my big one. And they're like, oh, how did you film with that? I lifted it up just like I do in any other country.
Keeping it moving. Keeping it moving. What are we doing? Keeping it moving. What are we doing? If we ain't moving, hey.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Broad Talks. It's me, Henry, here with Kieran, and another special guest. This guest is one of our first subscribers, and we thought we got to get this guy on the show because he's massive on YouTube, massive on Facebook. You may have seen him in the videos where he's getting free burgers from McDonald's or going all the way out to Syria. It's Simon Wilson. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
I appreciate the invite.
And obviously, you're a massive YouTuber. You're our first YouTuber on the show.
Ah, it's awesome.
So I really appreciate you coming down.
We're trying to make our way in the game, and we were just like,
yeah. Let's get him on and learn from him, basically,
exactly.
and just learn from you.
I couldn't believe that he sort of was subscribed to us and followed us, because on YouTube it says like who's your subscriber with the most amount of subscribers, and obviously you're the top
He's
one.
one of the first as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's amazing.
So literally, first episode, mate. I was waiting for it.
Wicked.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. How did you find out about us and our podcast and things like that?
To be honest, like I'm not quite sure. It was more of a case of like my interest in watches, and obviously you go down the rabbit hole with that. Then I found Kieran, then sort of started seeing the content there, and then obviously saw that you were sort of gearing up to launch this. And I thought, oh, this is going to be exciting. And then just started.
Are you
watching
enjoying
from
it?
there. Yeah, mate, I am.
Wicked.
I am, yeah, because it's just interesting, like just seeing different people and watches. And to be honest, it's like I feel like a lot of the watch community like don't really talk about it. Yeah. So when you meet people with nice watches and stuff like that, unless you sort of know it, you don't know what you don't know. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people are quite obviously modest with it. So you know, you don't know who does what. Like I've never ever spoke about watches with anybody. I don't wear them a lot on Instagram or anything like that. So unless you knew I liked watching, you just wouldn't know, sort of.
And you're the first person to come on our show and actually bring some of their watches on the show.
Awesome.
So we really appreciate it, and obviously you've got a lovely collection there, and we'll get into it later.
Yeah, we're hoping to get into some stories about them as well. You mentioned there was one.
Yeah.
But to get us started, let's talk about you and your story.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting story, and I've seen bits about it, but I want to hear the full shebang. How did it sort of start? School, uni? Was there anything? Yeah,
so school and uni was never really for me, to be honest. It was just, I don't know, it wasn't that I wasn't capable, it was just more of a case of I just didn't enjoy it. I wasn't passionate about it. I'm not the type of person who sort of sits at a desk and just gets sort of spoken to all day and takes in. I want to do stuff. I want to get busy. Do you get what I mean?
Same. I was like that as well. Even though I had football, I was obviously doing football. We used to go to like college as well, like 2 days. But even if I wasn't a footballer, it was I didn't hate school.
Yeah,
I love playtime. Like everyone loves it.
Well, I'm the same as well. I dropped out of uni after first year. I loved the party, but the sit down work.
You're not supposed to tell me you dropped out of fucking uni, mate. Well, anyway, carry on. No, but honestly, I loved the banter at school.
Yeah,
all the homework and all that. That weren't for me.
No, same.
I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have football, but I don't know, mate.
You used to just live for heads and vols at lunchtime. That was the one.
So no school. What did you decided to do after that then?
So when I went to uni, did sociology and social policy, quickly realised that wasn't for me. So I thought, what am I actually interested in, passionate about? So I went to study business. So while I was doing business, I started doing bits on the side, like property, like sourcing property and like estate agency stuff from a bedroom at home. And I started making money from that. So I was like, well, if I'm making money for that, what's the point in going to uni sort of thing? Because that's the whole point. So I dropped out of uni, started doing the property thing full time. Sort of had ups and downs with it, like you do in life, you know. I had times I was earning well, you know, times where I wasn't earning anything, and I'm just like, and I sort of got to 23, well, how old was I? Yeah, got to 23, 24, and just thought, you know what, I'm sick of this. I just thought it's ups and downs. I'm 23, I've been grafting for 6 years now, and I'm not really any further ahead with it, got no assets, got nothing, you know, for the future sort of thing. So I just thought, you know, I'm going to sort of chill out a bit, do something that really excites me, and it was traveling basically. I thought I'll give Thailand a go. Went to Thailand, did all the Muay Thai thing for a month, sort of got fit and healthy, and I thought, you know what, yeah, not now, Jesus. Yeah, that's long gone, mate. But yeah, after that I was just like, oh, once I get home from Thailand, I'm gonna, you know, start another business, get a, you know, rent a flat again, get a car and really get back into it. Got back home, you know, viewing apartments and looking at cars and stuff, and it just wasn't exciting me. And I was like, I don't sort of feel right. Like, what do I actually want to do? And sort of like look deep inside me and just thought, I just want to like travel and just be free, basically. And I thought, where's the one place I've always wanted to go? And it was America. I don't know why. It was just somewhere that I always thought, oh my God, I'd fit in perfect there, sort of thing. I had 200 quid to my name. I booked a flight to the cheapest part of America that I could find.
Where was that?
Boston. I didn't know anybody in
Boston. I've never been Boston. I want to go there.
What,
I want to go there. I want to go there.
Honestly, it's mint. It's like such a cool place, good vibe. Sort of like Liverpool. You can all walk around. People are dead friendly. Highly recommend
I can't walk around Liverpool, but yeah, go on. Carry on.
But no, it was like, so booked the cheapest flight, which was to Boston. Didn't know anybody there, didn't know the city, didn't know anything about it. All I knew was it was the cheapest flight. So went there, 200 quid spend the money. Half of that went before I'd even got there on the first night in the hostel, and a charger, like an international charger for me to charge my phone. And then, I was just like, shit, like half my money's gone. I'm on a one-way flight. So I was like, shit, I've got to make this work. So I thought, what can I do? And I thought, well, what I know is property, like viewing houses and different stuff. So went around all the estate agents and basically said, do you need someone to help with the viewings and stuff? So helped all these estate agents with the viewing, and they were just giving me $50 a viewing. So I was doing like 1 or 2 viewings a day, and I was just living day by day. And like some nights, like genuinely, like there wouldn't be any viewings on some days. So I'd be like, oh my God, I've got no money. So I'd literally walk, like, to be fair, it sounds embarrassing, but you know, it's made me who I am. But mate, I'd be walking around Boston all night because I didn't have any money to get a hotel or anything. I stayed for the whole 3 months. I did 11 states in those 3 months, and I went home with more money than I went there with. And I booked my flight home. So, but in that time, this is where YouTube started, right? Because in that time, obviously, like, didn't have any money, and I'm just like ducking and diving and sneaking in here and going here and stuff. I snuck into a Forbes event, an under 30s event, and was speaking to Richard Branson and was just chilling with him. I was like in the car with him and stuff, got all the pictures. I was posting all these mad pictures, and people are just going, what the hell are you doing? Like, how is this even possible? So I told them, like, I was just sneaking into things. And one of my mates was just like, you have to film this and put it on YouTube because it would just go crazy. And I'm just like, what the hell's YouTube, mate? I didn't even know YouTube at the time.
Yeah, what year is this in?
So I went, that 3-month stint was back end of 16. Yeah. And then I got home December just for Christmas, 16. And then
YouTube was big around then, but not what it is.
Yeah, well,
today.
At the time, well, honestly, the story's mad. So I got back from America. I went to see my best mate, who's still my best mate today, from school, like literally start of secondary school. And he was just like, mate, you've got to watch this guy on YouTube. And I watched Casey Neistat. Yeah, Casey. So, mate, he put Casey on. I was like, who the hell is this dude? Like, and I don't know why, but I was just hooked on it.
Cool as fuck though. He's cool as fuck though, isn't he?
Mate, he's got like, mate, cool.
Go on, carry on.
So this guy, like, honestly, and I've got him to thank for being on YouTube, to be honest, because I was watching him, and the first video was like, he'd like fly a drone in New York and lose it, and I'd be like, why are people watching this? And then you'd watch another one. Before you knew it, you were like hooked on this guy. And I was like, fuck, I love this sort of thing. So, carried on watching him. But when I got back from America back at end of 16, I still didn't have any money. So, just have this sort of job here and a job there. Just did advertising for a cinema for a bit and just random stuff. And then when it got to August, I thought, I want to go back to America. At this point, I bought a camera. I'd done like random videos. I took my sister out to a local town and we fed the ducks. Like it's,
I think they're still on your channel.
I know. Well, the thing is, I really want to delete them, but I'm just like, I can't bring myself to doing it because at that point, mate, I was like making these videos thinking like, this is going somewhere. Yeah. And looking back, I was like, mate, honestly, I was like, what am I doing?
But all those videos now have so many views because of some of your videos.
I know, and mate, honestly, it's so embarrassing, like looking back. I'm like, oh my God. But no, so I bought a camera, I was doing I didn't know where it was going, do you know what I mean, doing these random videos. Then I had this itch to go back to America, went back to America in the August, and I was just sat there in America, I was like, what can I do in the US this month that is just going to, that would just be so exciting? And it was the McGregor-Mayweather fight. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, I've got to go. So I went, got a free ticket to the weigh-in. So I went to the weigh-in on a free ticket. And obviously the atmosphere in there was just like phenomenal. And I was just like, there is no way I can't be at this fight. So after the weigh-in that night, I went to the MGM. I was like walking around, like speaking to touts. And I was like, what can I get a ticket for? The cheapest they were going were like, I think it was like $5,000, and I was just like, there's no chance. So I just thought, sod it. So I got back to the hotel room, I turned the camera on, literally just turned it on, and I just went, right, fight tomorrow. I'm going to go there now, see if I can sneak in there and like sleep the night in the arena. If not, I'll go back tomorrow. So obviously that's how it started. So I went round there, sort of managed to get in, and then the guy was like, where's your credentials and stuff? And then obviously didn't have them. So I said, sorry mate, I'll speak to my boss and I'll come back, blah, 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 blah. Couldn't get in, went there the next day. And then obviously the video shows it, but I managed to get in.
Didn't you took a picture of the credentials list?
Yeah. So when I went in there the first time, he had this list, and I was like, and then he was like, what's your name? So I just went, Simon Wilson. And obviously I'm not on the list. So he's looking, as he's looking at the list, I took my phone out, swiped up and took a quick picture of the list as he's scanning through it. Then once he said, no worries mate, speak to your boss and come back, I looked at the list on my phone and I was like, Jesus, which one shall I pick? And I've got a mate called Chris Smith, and there was Chris Smith on there. So I went sound, and it said Chris Smith, graphics, Fox News. So perfect. So I went round the other side. The guy's like, where's your credentials? I said, I've not got it. It must be back in the trailer or something. He's like, what's your name? I was like, Chris Smith, graphics, Fox News. So he looks at the Chris Smith, graphics, Fox News. Yeah, sound mate, no worries. But as I'm walking round, obviously they've got more security that's checking the badges and stuff. So they were just like, he was like, where's your credentials? I was like, mate, he's just let me through, but it's with my boss sort of thing. He was like, sorry mate, unless you've got that, there's no chance. So that was the night before the fight, he kicked me out. So on the day of the fight, I sort of had a bit of an idea of what it sort of looked like, but I was just like, how am I going to do it? So in the end, I found the credentials tent. Hard to sort of explain without seeing the room, but long story short, there was like a guy who takes your picture over here. There was all these baskets in the middle where they just hand you credentials. Then on the left, there was like the guy who hands them out. So I
put all three together,
exactly. So I sort of sat back in the room and I was like, right, how like working out the system. I was like, so you get your picture taken there. They then go make your credential, they shout your name out and they give it out there. And the ones that are already done pre are all in the middle. So I worked out, once the ID's done, it comes off the printer at the back. And then he walks over to that table and then obviously calls out the name on the thing. So I worked out, I've got till he gets to there to basically get talking to him before he calls out the name.
Wait 1 second. So basically you're working all this out in a short time while you're in the tent. So much going on. Yeah.
Literally.
Like it sounds like an hour, working for an hour, but it's not. Literally.
And it's the first time you've ever done it. This is what I'm I thought it was to be like all planned.
So I was just like literally working it out as thing. And the other thing, obviously, it was a lot of like different people, people from like Africa, people from different, if I'd have got to him and he was calling out some other guy who doesn't look anything like me, he's going to go, mate, this isn't you, do you know what I mean? So I also had to sort of wait for a time when I was when there was other people that was sort of similar build, sort of similar thing as me. So long story short, the guy gets one off the lock, and I thought, this is my chance. So as he's walking over, I went, hey mate, is that mine? Yeah. And he just went, John Locker. I went, yeah, that's the one, mate. He went, there you go. He goes, just sign here. I signed it, walked out the door, and just legged it, mate. Just legged it.
Honestly, this is like, you got some serious arsehole, bro. Honestly, honestly, I would never like.
Where'd you get that? Like,
do you know what? Like, I've always sort of been cheeky like that, but at that moment in time, mate, I had nothing to lose. Absolutely done. I had nothing. Do you get what I mean? And I wanted to be in that fight more than anything in the world, and nothing was going to stop me. Do you get what I mean? So I was just like, I've got to give this a go, because what's the pros and cons of this? There was no cons. Okay, I might have got in a bit of trouble, but.
Have you ever been nicked?
Never, mate. Never.
So look, basically, all the people watching now, basically what Simon does is makes content for YouTube, sneaks into places for content, and obviously that was one of his first encounters. It's just, bro, I find it phenomenal, mate.
It's fascinating.
But you know what, as well, like looking back and even thinking about this now, because obviously you don't really have these many conversations anymore, where it's like, it was like the thrill of it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like the buzz, you just like, and like I've got the mentality with anything where I'm just like, this is happening. Like it's not an option not to not happen. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I am in that fight. So you know, I'm a big believer in like the law of attraction as well. Like if you believe in something, you know, and obviously it's not just believing, it's putting the work rate in and stuff. But if you never give up on something, you've got the right mindset. And
because when I was watching your videos, I see you getting knocked back a few times, but you keep going. Like I was watching the Emmys one, when you snuck into the Emmys, and the security guys were taking you out, and you found another security guy, went back in, and it was like mad. Some people would give up.
But you know what? Like one of my big things, you can't take no for an answer. And like one thing with property, you know, when we were like trying to buy investment properties and stuff, you always say like you're going to get 100 no's before you get that one yes. So the quicker you get the no's, the quicker you get the yes. And it's the same with that sort of thing, where you're just like, oh, the more people who say no, I'm just closer to getting in.
But also I find your story where you said that you obviously went to America before you did all this with 200 quid. How many people like would do that? You know what I mean? Like, would you go America? Would you go America with 200 quid in your back pocket?
I went to Australia and I made sure I was there for at least 6 months and I could afford that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go there and be like, oh, I'm just going to take 300 quid and try and make my way when I get there. That would frighten me.
I know, me too. And it shows how strong character you are. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I find that crazy.
Do you know what? Looking back, you do sort of think, how did I even manage that? Do you know what I mean? But again, and it's like with anything in life, when you're put into like survival mode and you're put into a thing where it's sink or swim. Yeah. I ain't sinking. Do you know what I mean? You know, you're going to come out. And it was sort of like that. And even with YouTube, like I started, so that McGregor video went live in like August, the end of August.
Let's just go back to that quickly. You got the credentials. I'm guessing you got into the fight.
And
you watched the whole thing. For those that haven't seen, you watched it. You met some crazy
Go and watch it. Go and watch it. People go and watch it.
Do you know what though, with that as well? Like when I got in, because always the goal was always to get in, right? Yeah. So once I had the credential and I got in, I was like, oh, I'm in now. And I was literally sat there and I was like, I'm in. Oh my God, like I've achieved it. Do you know what I mean? But then once I was in, I was like, I wonder if I can get to the front. Do you know what I mean? I was like, and then again, you know, law of attraction, being in the right place at the right time. I'm asking the right questions. Do you know what I mean? Some guy's like, oh yeah, come with me, I'll take you down. Obviously the credentials, I can access all areas. So I'm just beaming it everywhere and just like going.
I wonder what this guy's doing that he's got his credentials.
I feel ill. He actually commented on the video as well. Because people are like, oh, it's fake. He didn't do that. And the guy was like, oh no, like,
mine.
Yeah, he took mine, yeah.
Wow.
The only regret that I've got with that video is that because it was like my first video, I wasn't that good at filming. And so that whole scenario in that room that I just told you about, I'm obviously thinking, working all this out, and I didn't film a lot of it. So obviously a lot of people in the comments are like, oh, it's fake. Obviously it wasn't. The guy actually commented on the video. But yeah, it was just, that's the only regret I've got, is that I actually filmed it all. But obviously I've done so many now.
Yeah. You must get it a lot though. A lot of people calling your videos fake and your content.
At the start, not so much anymore. Because
is there anything at all that you've ever had to stage?
I don't reckon so.
100 million% on my mum's life. Nothing, mate.
That's crazy.
And do you know what? Like for me as a brand and as my videos, like authenticity and the genuine of the videos is everything to me. Do you get what I mean? Because and at the same time now, it's like everywhere I go, all these different countries, a lot of people, I get stopped in the street all the time.
Do you?
So yeah, like, and I mean, like the random, like in Jerusalem at King Solomon's temple, mate. Like I'm just like some Orthodox Jews, like, oh, Simon Wilson, I watch your videos. I'm just like, well, I'm pretty really?
Sure in the most recent one, I watched it literally yesterday, the one where you went to Syria.
Yeah.
Someone recognised you in Syria, right?
Mate, I was getting stopped every night. Obviously, you only see one on the video. Mate, as soon as I got out the car in Damascus, some guy's like, Simon Wilson, I love your videos. I'm just like, really?
That's the most recent one. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about going to Syria, because that's I would not do that in a million years. I don't know about you.
No, it's mad. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, do you know what though? With like Syria, so I've been to a few mad places now, like North Korea, went there for a couple of weeks. Been to Iraq, been to Syria, probably been to a few others I've not named. But honestly, I can't stress that they're just not what you think it'd be. North Korea, for me, like when I go to these places, like even with Syria, right? People go, oh, by going to Syria, you're supporting the regime. You'll do it, like same with North Korea. By paying to go there as a tourist, that tourist money goes to the government, the regime. You're supporting the regime. I don't support any regime, obviously. Yeah. I'm going there, I'm documenting my experience. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, I don't try and make the video to look good. I don't try and make the video look bad. I just show what I see through my own eyes, basically. But with North Korea, yeah, they've got weird, strict rules. They have, but you just abide by them.
So a lot of countries got strict rules, though.
100%.
But are you saying that a lot of media, not just here, the Western world, portray a certain way of these countries?
Massively. And like, you just, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's bits in Iraq, in Baghdad, which are dodgy, of course. Yeah. There's bits in Manchester that's dodgy. Do you get what I mean? There's North Korea, the safest I've ever felt. People going, oh, what camera did you take? I'm like, my big one. And they're like, oh, how did you film with that? I lifted it up just like I do in any other country. Yeah, just like you've got a guide everywhere you go, and like the guide's got a guide, and that guide's got a guide. Do you get what I mean? So, but then at the same time, the itinerary changed. It wasn't like, we're here at 12 and then we're going here, and when do you know what I mean? It was like, oh, wait a minute, we're not going to make that. Let's go here instead.
So the way the North from my point of view, the way North Korea is portrayed is like we can't even enter that country.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was
it's a no zone. It's locked off. Like in my head, I'm thinking big like walls everywhere. You can't get in. It's literally like a cult in there.
Like I don't know what the COVID situation is over there because they did close it with COVID. Before COVID, and probably now, mate, I could get you a visa tomorrow. Yeah, and it's such like the people there, mate. And like, that's the one thing I'd say all these places have got in common, whether it's UK, whether it's Iraq, mate, the people are just amazing. Like Iraq, like for me, it was really sad in Iraq that I go there and the first thing, because obviously they don't see tourists, so like you get groups of lads come up to you and they go, oh, hi, what do people think of our country? And I'm like, I don't want to be nasty, but be truthful. I say, mate, not good if I'm honest.
I think war in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
First thing, war.
But these people, like, they love their country, and they're just like, what do people think? And I'm like, not good, to be honest. And they're like, they look sad, do you know what I mean? And they think, oh, but now you've been here, what do you think? And I go, do you know what, mate? It's amazing. The people are so hospitable. Do you know what I mean? Like, mate, you go to like a street food stand there that the guy's like providing for his family, you order something, and then you go and pay him, and he's like, no, it's all right. He's like, I like the fact that you're a tourist and you come into it. I'm like, mate, no chance, I'm paying you. Do you know what I mean? But you'd never do that in Manchester, mate, or anything like that.
I think that's probably why you got a massive following, because when you document all your different places you go to, it's all real. There's no filter. There's no hiding. There's no agendas.
Yeah.
It's just from your eyes.
Exactly that.
So that's probably why you got a massive following. And the thing
is as well, when like you say like, oh, what you think of like Iraq is war, mate, before I go there, that's what I think. So I'm not going in with any different. And I was maybe not nervous, but I'm a bit sort of apprehensive, like, oh geez, I'm going to Iraq, am I coming home here? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but it's just not, it's like, same with Syria. It makes Syria, I swear down to you, Syria was the most, surprised, basically, from what I thought to what it turned out, I was the most surprised. Mate, it's clean. There's a nightlife. Mate, we went one night, right? We went to go for a drink, and our guide's like, oh, I know this good place. And we turned up to this barber shop, right? And there's a barber chair there, and there's just one barber chair in this little shop. I'm like, what are we doing here? Next minute, mate, the wall opens. There's like a nightclub at the back. Mate, like the nightlife there is insane. You just wouldn't think, and it's clean.
Mad. We don't hear these stories at all, do we? It's crazy,
mate. Honestly, and like the people there, and just like
you're getting me gassed. Like I want to go to Syria.
Honestly, you just wouldn't. And like the food as well. Like, mate, you've never tasted food like it. It's just insane.
So for you, like, how do you come up with content in your head? What do you think like next? What do you think like? Oh, the World Cup final's coming up. I'm gonna go and try and sneak into there.
For me, I've found out that I like content that challenges me. So I don't make a video for the sake of making a video. I can't be, but like, I don't want to sell my soul. If I wanted to, I could make a video every day and get loads of views and make more money, and it'd all be great. Yeah, but it's not about that for me. For me, it's about expanding my knowledge. It's about testing myself. You know, it's like with these sneaking in videos. It's just a game for me, and I'm just happen to be filming it. Do you know what I mean? And then even on from that, when I was doing all the no money challenges,
I like that.
Like a part of that for me was, one, to show people that you don't need loads of money to do stuff, and the second thing is because it was a little game for me. Oh, can I live here for 3 days on my own? And then I thought, oh, we'll just see, and I'll film it as well.
One thing I wanted to ask is what's sort of most scared you've ever been in any of these traveling videos? Because like we talk about what's like what everything would be frightening to us, but it doesn't look like it's scaring you, or phasing you.
The scariest, again, it's a tough one, to be honest, because there is stuff like you're saying, like going to North Korea, you are a bit like, you know, it's only normal, like with anything, like setting a business up or anything, you're like, am I making the right decision here?
But ain't it mad what you said there? Because scared, naturally, everything he does, you think it's scary. It's how we're taught in life now. We to be scared of things, and he's obviously not scared of anything he's doing right now. And it's mad how me and you are thinking, because we can't fathom what he's doing.
The thing is as well though, what's like, and I don't want to be too cheesy with this, but it's like, again, expanding your comfort zone. Yeah. Like once you've done it once, you're like, you've got like a reference in your head that you're like, oh, it wasn't too bad last time, and you do another one, and you do another one, and you do another one, and then before you know it, you're just like, that's the norm. Do you know what I mean? Your comfort level has grown and just about doing that.
So what are you saying, Henry? Me and you go to
I could
somewhere
see it.
And
North
just
Korea.
No money, nothing, zero. I reckon and just document it and just try and
we're getting into the Champions League final, mate.
You're going to try and sneak into the Champions League final?
Yeah, just get some tips from Simon. Yeah. We're all good.
Just don't put this out before it. Are you giving him the heads up?
I know.
I could see it though, Pyongyang with no money.
Mate.
Oh, God.
I'll send Henry to do it, but
that's what I was about to say.
I'll send you to do it.
I'm used to doing it. What was I going to say? So obviously you did what I've watched recently, the Liverpool to Wembley, but that's based off of the fact that you went from Liverpool to Madrid.
Yeah.
You're a massive football fan, Liverpool fan. Yeah. And you went to Madrid.
You must be happy right now, though.
Oh, mate, Liverpool fan. Over the moon. I'm just like, can't get enough of it.
Well, I was saying in our group to Henry, best Liverpool team I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing as well. Like growing up a Liverpool fan, obviously, like going to Anfield, seeing the 1-1 draws with Watford, and just like, them draws 0-0 to Stoke. I remember them. Do you know what I mean? So now for it just to be, mate, it's and like all my mates who were United fans, like growing up in school, I'm like, just getting grief. It's nice to dish it back, mate. Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
But yeah, my first challenge was from Amsterdam to Barcelona with no money, and I did it in 6 days, and I edited every night. Flipping out, I'd be like, film day one, I'd like get from like Paris, Amsterdam down to like Belgium or something, and then I'd be like, oh night, see you later, good day, let's get on it tomorrow, see you later, turn the camera off, and I'd be like, get the laptop out, then I'd be there for 4 hours editing. Then
you have to teach yourself how to edit? Or
just did it on iMovie. Well, while we're on this subject, a mad story as well is the McGregor one. So I filmed all that on my camera and some on my phone, and I didn't have a laptop. I was scared. I couldn't buy a laptop. I was like, what? I was like, how the hell am I going to edit this? And I was like, it has to go out tomorrow because it's about an event. It needs to go out. So I was like, what can I do? And I was like, what I'll do is I'll go to the Apple store in Vegas. I'll get all of the footage off the memory card onto my phone, and then I'll edit it on iMovie on my phone. I go to the Apple shop and I said to the guy, mate, my life success is going to be on this memory card. I was like, I need a laptop to transfer this over. And he was like, mate, the easiest way is just buy one. And he was like, and then obviously return it within 30 days, and then, you know, he just give you your money. I was like, mate, that would be brilliant if I had money to buy a laptop. Exactly. I was like, I got no money. I was like, what can we do? So long story short, I used one of the models in the shop. I just popped my memory card into it. I airdropped tens of gigs of footage off this memory card onto my phone. So everything, it's still on my phone now, I'll show you, right? And I edited it. It took me like, honestly, about 10 hours. I was just sat on a couch outside the MGM, just editing on this phone for 10 hours. And I got it out that night. And when I pressed upload, I was just like, oh my God. There was like 1 view, 2 view, 3 view. And then Worldstar.
Worldstar.
They posted it, and it was just going 10,000, 20,000. I'm sat there just like, what the hell? Yeah,
it's mad how like one video can just.
Do you know another thing, like mindset wise as well? Like after that, my second video was the Emmys, right? I never forget it, and this is like a big lesson for me. And like what I tell people is that I was staying on my mate's couch in LA the day the Emmys was on, and I was like, oh, I'll sneak in tomorrow, And I woke up and it was like 10 o'clock on a Sunday. I woke up on this couch and I was just like, should I go and do it? I was like, nah, forget it, I'm not doing it. Then I went back to sleep and I woke up at 11. I was like, shall I go? Nah, I can't be bothered. I had some food, watching telly, and it got to 12. I thought, I'm not sitting here all day, I'm just going to go and do it. And I did it, and it was a success. It was a great video, it was a great memory. But the moral of the story for me is that millisecond decision where I just decided, fuck it, I'm going to go and do it, was the best decision I ever made. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And my success on YouTube is just a load of millisecond decisions where you think, I'm going to go and do it. I'm going to go and do it. And it's getting into the habit of that. And then obviously the compound effect of that is just, you know, it's just amazing. Mad. Do you know what I mean?
About how many people out there now, anyone watching, everyone goes through little situations like that. Am I going to do this? No. And end up going to get a job or whatever. It's crazy.
100%. And so many times, like with the estate agents, I thought, do you know what? Should I just go and get a job? And obviously there's no shame in having a job, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, do you know what? Like, let's just keep going. And just keep going and keep going. And, you know, if you'd have said to me when I was doing property at 20, give it 10 years, you're going to be running around with a camera doing no money challenges in North Korea, I'd be like, what? Do you get what I mean? So it's mad how life takes you when you put yourself into that position.
Yeah.
What's a break-in video you've had that's failed? Have you got any failed stories?
Do you know what? Not one. I speak to YouTubers and they go, when we filmed this, we didn't post it. I'm like, I've never filmed it. Well, I tell a lie, one. I've never gone to film a video and not posted it. The only one was Lisbon. I went to do a no money challenge in Lisbon, and I got there and it was in January, and Lisbon was just dead.
Yeah,
it was just but it wasn't even COVID. No, this was before
off-season,
COVID,
isn't it?
Mate, I've just never seen a city so dead, and I was just like, obviously my videos are about the people and the people you meet, so I was like, there's no point doing a no money challenge.
I was not even open.
Like I've seen places busier in COVID than in Lisbon in January before COVID. It was that dead. But yeah, I've always, and I think the reason why I've not got any fail stories, because for me with the videos, it's not about, let's get the best video. It's about, like, I did a no money challenge in Milan and it was horrendous. It was like, it just went from bad to worse to worse. But when I posted that video, I said at the end of that video, I was like, do you know what? This video's not been the best because everything's gone bad, but that's life. Some things aren't good. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't sometimes things going bad for you good for content though as well?
It is, but it is. But with this video, it was more of a case of just nothing was coming off. Do you know what I mean? So if anything, I sort of put myself in a bad light. But again,
you win
some and lose some.
So how did you get into watches? And obviously you got a lovely collection now. How did you get into it?
It's a bit of a weird one, to be honest. I've always sort of looked at them and sort of been interested, but obviously was never in a position to actually get one. I was in Dubai, like literally 18 months, 2 years ago. So not too far, not long ago. I'm still a novice, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I'm literally sat there on my own on the laptop, and there's this conversation going behind me, and they're talking about YouTube, watches, and cars. And I was like, they all sort of interest me. And I just thought, I'm here on my own for a month. So I just turned around and walked over to these three guys, and I was like, I said, sorry to interrupt your conversation, but I said, I love my car. I love my cars. I said, I've got an interest in getting a watch. and I do YouTube for work. So I said, and this guy, basically, he's a watch dealer, and he was just like, oh, come and sit down, mate, join us. And his name's Nico. I don't know if you heard of Nico.
Yeah, we know about it.
Yeah. So it was Nico. So Nico was sat behind me. Never known Nico in my life, not a clue. And Nico was just like, you mad fucker, come and get a seat. I'm just like, Jesus, this guy's mad. So just pulled up a seat, started speaking to him, and he had the yellow gold Daytona with him, and he had the Nautilus 40th anniversary watch on.
Nice.
And he literally gave me a yellow gold green dial and just give it me, and he said, just wear that for the week and just feel it. Because I was like, mate, I've always wanted to have a watch, but I've never really worn one.
So he gave you a watch for a week? He didn't know you, but he gave you a watch for a week?
Mate, never met me in my life.
How do you know that you're not going to run away with his watch?
Mate, that's what I was asking him.
He's a mad bastard, isn't he?
He literally...
He's a mad bastard.
Mate, he literally
I
gave
love
me...
it.
Yeah, well, to be fair, his editors knew who I was.
Oh, okay.
So they watched. So it wasn't just like,
all right.
There was a bit of like credibility there.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But nevertheless, mate, he still gave me this watch.
Yeah.
And he's just like, there you go. Like, wear it. And I was like, what the hell?
You fell in love with it?
Mate, just like fell in love with it.
It is a lovely watch.
And I was just like, oh my God. And mate, I was like so nervous because I didn't really know him. And like, I didn't want to scratch it. So like, I'd be going back to the hotel room. When I go in the shower, I'd put it in the safe and lock the safe. I was just like, oh my God. And after a few days, I was like, I can't keep wearing this. I've got to give it him back. It's making me nervous, sort of thing. But yeah, I just fell in love with it. And from that moment, I was like, I have to buy a watch. I have to buy a watch.
Wicked. Lovely.
So you went and bought one off of him?
Yeah, so this was actually my first watch. So the black ceramic dial Daytona, and dead important, on the back of it, I've had my brand Skint. So where Skint came from, again, I wanted to basically have some merch for the YouTube channel, and I was like, what can I call my merch? I can't really call it Simon Wilson. And I was just like racking my brains, what can I call this merch? And I was like, I'm Skint. And I was like, Skin.
Yeah,
I was like, boom. So again, this watch means a lot to me. One, because it's my first watch, so I had to get that skin on it. And it just like, bought this watch 2020. No, I bought it in 21, but it's a 20 edition. Bought it brand new and worn. And I just love it. It's just like, but it symbolizes a lot for me, this watch. It's not just a watch. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just like hard work, and you know, to get that, like, just so grateful.
And obviously to personalise it on the back is a great touch.
Yeah.
For the people who doesn't know what it is, a Rolex Daytona 116500 LN. Lovely watch, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the face of Rolex, that watch, really, to me.
It's iconic.
The thing is, like, I always wear black as well. Yeah. So, like, having black watches, like, just suits me.
And from there, you went on to...
From there, flipping out, now you're asked, now... where did I go from there?
Got quite a good collection in just a few years. It's just after 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah, so this is an...
You must be getting it in, lad.
Yeah, mate. Well, mate, this is like an addiction, mate. Yeah. You get one and I'm like, right, I need the white dial now. I need this, I need that. Like, even having this, I'm like, I need the white gold blue dial now.
Nico obviously knew what he was doing, because when he gave you the green dial, you went and bought it eventually. Bought the watch.
Exactly. I bought it off him as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you usually buy them off every time off of Nico?
At the start, because again, I didn't know that. Like I said, I was a complete novice. Like, all I know is I wanted to buy a watch. So I'd never been into an AD. I'd never been into any watch shop. I didn't know what I was dealing with. So Nico obviously became a friend. He's a great friend today. Do you know what I mean? We go away together a lot. So I bought that off him. Then I bought that off him, and then I was like, even Nico said, go
AD.
to an AD and, build up a relationship if you want to get into this seriously. So that's what I've done. So now I'm with an AD now. Nice. And I'm just trying to build up my collection.
Yeah, good. I always give that advice to our clients and friends. Yeah. Go in there, put your name down.
There's no harm.
100. But you know what? Like, I do find it just, again, from a novice, just like such a mental industry. Like, I do get supply and demand and stuff like that. But to walk into a shop and be like, can I buy something? They're like, no. But
that's what it is. Everyone likes things they can't get, right? Everyone that's the whole thing behind it.
Yeah, 100%.
No one likes hearing no, especially you.
Yeah, I'm just like, sorry, what?
But yeah, I get it from your perspective as just a person who wants to buy a watch. It's hard work. Yeah, and that's where we come into it, and people just come to us and buy from us.
Well, it's just easier, isn't it?
Easier.
And the thing is, it's like, obviously the 5230R, like, love this, but I really wanted the 5231.
Yes, one before.
The one before, the 50J, is it?
Yes.
The enamel.
Enamel dial.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Like,
well timed.
but like, you go in, just that's my dream watch, and you just go to me, you're just like, oh, I really want this piece. Can we work towards this? You know, I understand it's not a first purchase, but and it's just like, probably not. And you're just like, you know, probably not. I'm like, so then, but then you look at what it retails at compared to what you can get it, you know, on the grey market, and you're just like, well, you may as well just buy it on the grey market than wait. Well, there's no weight on it because you can't get it.
No, you can't get it.
So, and
it also makes sense because you could just, if you ever want to get rid of it, you could just resell it on the grey market and get your money back more often than not.
Yeah, if you buy the correct watches.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so you buy the correct watches. I always say to people, even you buy in grey market and pay more money, your money's there still. Don't stress too much. Yeah. Obviously, it can come down and things like that, but your money's there. It's not like if you buy a watch for 100 grand and it's 10 grand in the shop, you ain't lost 90 grand. It's there. Your 100 grand's still there. Yeah, so you come to sell it.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Because, and the thing is as well for me is that, like, again, I've bought them because I love them. Do you know what I mean? They mean something to me. But at the same time, it is a source of value as well.
Of course.
So it's like, and that's why I don't mind spending the money that I spend on them. Like, you know, nothing towards people who do, but like I couldn't go into like Louis Vuitton and spend $1,000 on a hoodie. I just couldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's not because I'm against it at all, but I'm just like, do you know what I mean? Nike t-shirt, Nike bottoms. Yeah, I spend a bit on trainers, but you know, I don't spend a lot on clothes, to be honest. I wear nice ones, but you know, with this, like, I feel comfortable spending that money because I know it's going to go up. Do you know what I mean? Like that AP, I dread to think, well, that's going to, well, not dread, happy to think what that would be in like 5-10 years.
Show me the watch, please.
What is your favourite brand?
It's beautiful.
To be fair, I think, I can't call it, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, I would have probably said Rolex, but now I'd say the more I'm sort of getting into it and the more I'm sort of being a proper enthusiast, I just think Patek. I just think
I'm Patek. I'm
like,
Patek myself.
I'm just like...
But this AP is lovely.
Yeah.
For the people who don't know what it is, this is a 15202 OR. Jumbo, really beautiful, 39mm, great blue dial. It's very thin. They call it ultra thin.
Yeah, ultra thin.
Ultra thin. I think it's like 8mm thickness.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. You picked a really good one there.
Yeah.
What made you draw to this one? Just
again, at Nico's recommendation, to be fair.
Nice.
He was like, he had one in and he was like, what do you think? And I thought, and obviously, you know, it looked amazing. I didn't have an AP at the time. And yeah, good investment as well. So I was like...
So these have gone up crazy money now. So how long you had this for?
2 years?
2 years.
What? No. 18 months, I reckon.
So you probably made 100 grand. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to
Do
put it out there, but...
Do you know, just to point out as well, like the only sad thing about all these watches is that you can't have them in the house.
Yeah.
And you can't... Like, I've wore that watch once
Definitely.
on my 30th birthday as like a, you know, because, you know, that's such a special piece. It's like... You couldn't wear it. Well, you could wear it every day, but you know, I've wore that once, and like none of these I keep in the house because
of course
I just
you don't. Yeah. Obviously, it's bad people out there, and they want to
do the same as us. We keep it.
Yeah, we're the same. So obviously, we know you come in. We'll show. We'll come and bring it in, but we don't keep nothing here. Keep it in the vault.
Exactly.
You know
that's it. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of the times now, you just put an Apple Watch on.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, you know, track me steps. I need to lose some of this timber as well.
I'm there. I've got a Garmin myself.
So, what is your favourite? The Celestial. You went to see the Celestial, didn't you?
Mate, that watch. I've never seen one.
Well, you're gonna love it.
I've never seen one. And like again, the black and the mate. Oh my!
I'd say put it on, but we haven't. It hasn't even been worn.
It hasn't been worn.
So
it's brand new.
Strap can't be bent.
Yeah, the strap's still straight, basically.
Oh my god, that is a piece, isn't it?
That's definitely one of my favourite pieces.
I think that's probably the best watch we've bought in 2022 so far.
Mate, that is the nicest watch I've ever seen. That is just like those baguettes on it as well.
Yeah.
It just makes it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just makes it. It does come plain, but as I've said in the past, the baguettes just make it.
I was saying to Kieran, it's got that complication where you can see what the sky looks like from Geneva at the current time.
But no one cares.
But who actually wants
Who
to
cares?
see it? Who actually cares about
Who cares?
that? But it's still
Everyone just cares about the look
good.
Everyone just goes off the look. I go off the look of things.
Well, you always say
and
that,
it is a wow watch.
Mate, that's
are you into diamond watches?
Not really. I'm not really quite sort of flashy. Do you get what I mean? But like,
that's not flashy though, is it?
No, mate, I'll wear that in a heartbeat. How much you want for it? But no, like, to be honest, even the yellow gold Daytona is a bit much for me.
When you're buying now, are you buying from like just investment things right now only, or
no, not really. I think because I've got a passion for it now, so like I just want everything. Do you know what I mean? Like literally everything. Yeah. But it's like at the same time, obviously, it's nice to know that you're not just spending and throwing money down the toilet. You know, you are, they are growing. It is an investment as well. So I think I'm buying first for passion, and then second, that's just sort of backing up. Like when you think, oh, should I? Like, I'm just not going to lose any money, so why not? Making a decision to buy a watch, obviously, and spending that money is a massive decision. But do you know what? I really wanted one. Nico's a mad guy, so he's just like, go on, mate. Yeah. So I'm just like, do you know what? Life's too short, man. And that first watch, that first watch, I paid 25 for that. What? They're like, well, they've come down a bit now, but what, about 30?
Yeah,
so
like
$2
grand.
Of course. Yeah. So I've made $5,000 on it, and I've wore it.
I think it's important that I would say, as you said, you trust Nico. That's your guy.
Yeah,
he's
100.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And do you know what? He's backed it up, mate.
Yeah,
you know,
that's where we come into it. A lot of our clients, they trust me and Henry. They know us, and we've backed it up. And we've had guys on the show say that. So that's where we build our relationships with people.
Yeah.
Being a watch dealer, obviously you can
go.
There's
a lot of negative connotations.
Yeah, because you can go to someone else and get it probably $1,000 cheaper. Yeah. But because you got a relationship with, give Nico for example, now you'll always go to Nico. He's your guy.
Yeah.
Where my people will 9 times out of 10 come to me because I have a relationship with him.
100%.
We build it up over time. Sometimes people think like, I'm just do one deal, make money, and move on. But a lot of effort goes into it. I'll talk to clients for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, just about random stuff, not even about watches. They're friends.
Exactly,
they become friends. They become friends.
And it is a big decision as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to be honest, when you see, like, the more I've got into watches, when you see, like, the papers for the AP and, like, the Pateks and stuff, it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and, like, before now as well, I've seen, like, people who've had, like, a fake paper and you're just like, oh, my God. You wouldn't think that goes on.
No, it does go on. It's right.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. A lot of these papers on the watches, all of them, they can be counterfeited. They can all be all fakes. Yeah. So you have to be careful. That's why I say to people, go with someone who you trust.
Yeah, 100%.
And you ain't gonna run away and things like that.
Exactly.
And that's where where people come into play, like us.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the shame with the ADs is that, when you look at how long you'd wait for a watch compared to what you buy on the grey market, for me, obviously if you've got it, I think it's just a no-brainer. Just enjoy
I'm
it.
like that. I just want it now.
And it's going to go... Yeah, I'm the same.
I might die tomorrow.
It's like even like 100%. And it's an asset,
it.
isn't it? It's an asset that, one day, like that Daytona, I've not got any kids, but, one day you'll have a son or a daughter that you can give that watch and they'll be like, oh, this was my dad's hard work. Like, the blood, sweat and tears that's gone into that. Like, I look at that and it, it feels good. Not because it's a Rolex. I couldn't give a shit what it was. But, just to have that and be like... flipping heck. So, yeah.
Wicked.
Man, it's been great having you on.
Honestly, it's been great hearing stories.
Thanks so much for showing me this.
Worries.
Like, this is just like, I'm feeling it now. I just need to have one now.
Yeah.
Mate, speak it into existence, mate.
100%.
That's what you got to do.
Some great stories. Guys, if you want to watch more about Simon, go check out his channel. It's Simon J. Willis, isn't it? Or is it Simon Wilson?
No, just Simon Wilson.
Simon Wilson on YouTube.
Yeah. And then Simon J. Wills on Instagram. Because I couldn't get Simon Wilson.
That's the next mission. Yeah. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and we'll see you next time.